Welcome to the Medicine Show, where artists meet entrepreneurs and stories are told.
1. Somewhere in Louisiana, there's a penitentiary with a swollen belly won't stop swelling. Eats black bodies like fast food pipelines, dark meat into its gut till it bloats with the weight of its own greed, while new prisons open doors like hungry mouths, salivating for more. The injustice system is all clogged arteries and varicose veins, backlogged with the trials of the living. They say prisons are built to flush out the bad in any society, but Louisiana incarcerates more people than any place in the world's history. Yet the crime remains the same. This is either a case of a failed system or severe indigestion. Either way, a new diet is in order, but first, one must question why the appetite for poor black bodies in the first place, too. In 1898, when former Confederate Senator Thomas Sims attended the Louisiana Constitutional Convention, his intentions were clear. He said that the mission of the convention was to, quote, establish the supremacy of the white race. No wonder in a state whose major port city, New Orleans, was majority black, the convention's delegates chose to create non-unanimous juries as opposed to the unanimous juries which exist in every other state in the Union, which is to say, if a black person found themselves on trial for a crime and the mostly white jury got blocked by 2 black members that happened to be on it, those 2 black members could not prevent a conviction. Easier conviction equals higher incarceration rates, where it equals no wonder Louisiana remains an echo chamber of its antebellum past, where penitentiaries are the new plantations. Angola is the new Angola, where descendants of the enslaved, once sold up the river to labor in masters' quarters, are now bussed right back up that very same river at a money-hungry judge's orders. It's like we're caught in a karmic loop shaped like a noose for our slaughter. 3. Circa late 1990s, a high school boy runs cross-country into unwelcoming territory. A cop pulls up. The cop is white. The boy is black. With all the privilege and profiling he doesn't even need to muster, the cop asks the boy, "Why are you running so fast?" The boy, dressed in green shorts and white tank top, says he's running cross country. Why else would he have on green shorts and a white tank top? The cop says, "Sure, likely story." The boy tells his parents, who take the conversation right back to the police precinct, inform the cops not to make such assumptions, because you know what assumptions make. The boy learns what it is to be defended from hungry eyes that only see him as prey, learns to never take racism as an answer to the color of his skin, learns that he is not the only one worthy of such defense for. When the boy becomes a man, William Snowden starts the Juror Project. After 3 years as a member of the New Orleans Public Defender's Office, he watches client after client face 20 years, 30 years for anything from nickel bags of weed to a couple of crack rocks and a few pills. All this while the methamphetamine epidemic is deemed a public health crisis, worthy of intervention in health care. The only difference between the epidemics is the demographic of the main users of the drugs, so when his potential jurors that look like the very people that he is defending see their drug-addicted community members and say, "He's not harming anybody," or "Drug addicts don't belong in jail," they are often dismissed from jury duty due to a notion called legal cause, which dismisses potential jurors based on a perceived bias, with, of course, nothing to be said of the bias of the architects of the actual system in the first place, which is to say, white skin finds white crystal, finds addiction, finds help. Black skin finds white rock, finds addiction, finds jail, finds hole in system shaped like same burial ground they used to bury your ancestors. 5. William told me he often feels powerless to help the very people he's employed to defend. Says the system is a crucible for the poor, that it belittles their lives. In New Orleans, 85% of cases go through public defenders' offices as opposed to private lawyers, because that's all they can afford. Yet the funds to the office have gone down 30% in the last few years, all this on top of the fact that whoever he and his fellow lawyers do have time to defend have the odds stacked against them by a racially and ideologically biased jury that does not reflect their community. He started the Juror Project to take the power back and put it in the people's hands through information, with public lectures that started with local high schools and have now reached as far as Berkeley, NYU, and Yale. He's taken our power back one presentation at a time. A system shackled in post-Reconstruction policy, bound in its history and slavery, will only loose its binds when the people learn how to identify the weak links in said system, like voting to politics. Jury duty is the most direct shot we, the people, have at bringing change to a corrupt legal system, the most direct chance we have to break the chains.